Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. This is Jesse Heller, the Marketing Director at Fab Business Systems Group. Today you are attending our webinar on generating leads with an integrated CRM and marketing automation solution. Today we're going to be talking about the benefits of integrating the two. Presenting today, we've got Jake Butekoffer. He is a account executive at Fab Business Systems Group, and he's going to take us through the presentation. As always, I'll be here to moderate any questions that you may have. We hope this will be as interactive as possible. So if you have any question about the content we're talking about, the platforms we're going to show you today, or about CRM and marketing automation in general, please feel free to put them in the chat box. I'll get those over to our presenter, and we'll get those answered as best as we can. So thanks again for joining us, and I'm going to pass it over to Jake, and we'll take it away. Thanks, Jake.
Thanks, Jesse, and thanks everyone for joining. Like Jesse said, if there's anything that comes up that piques your interest or things you want clarification on, just feel free to ask those questions in the chat box. Like just said, today's topic is how to generate leads with an integrated CRM and marketing automation solution. Not only how to generate leads, but how to retain business and sort of upsell business as well. So we're going to talk a little bit about FabiusG, the company. We'll also talk a little bit about what marketing automation is in general, just in case you're unfamiliar. It's not as matured as CRM industry. We'll talk about why to integrate marketing automation and CRM, and then we'll go through a demo and we'll answer the questions towards the end of the presentation. So just a little bit about us. FabiusG, we're an elite sugar partner. In 2016, we were nominated the most valuable sugar partner in the whole ecosystem out of 200 plus partners. We're headquartered out in Woodland Hills in Southern California, but we also have offices in Austin, Atlanta, and Philadelphia. We do CRM, marketing automation, as well as ERP and custom development. So one of the things that separates us from other sugar partners is that we do all of our development in-house, and we also have sort of a deep, rich ecosystem of apps and plugins. Some of these are specifically tied to sugar. These are just some of the apps that we have developed. Like I said, we've done a decent amount of ERP integrations. So we've done integrations with Sage, Intact, QuickBooks, NetSuite, and a handful of others as well that aren't on here. We do have a cache, which is a portal around the sugar ecosystem. So a customer support portal or a partner portal, as you may think of it. We've also developed we're the first partner in the sugar ecosystem to develop a mobile app that's based on the sugar software development kit. So we do have a new mobile app that is basically the sugar mobile app with added functionality on top of it. Just a little bit about us and our products. So, what is marketing automation? So you currently might be doing, some email marketing. You might be doing marketing automation as well, but you might be doing some email marketing. You might be tracking things from Google Analytics. You may have some web forms, and things like that. What marketing automation allows you to do is it allows you to consolidate all of those marketing efforts into one application. So your email marketing, your landing pages, your social publishing, your blogs, all of that can get managed in one specific platform. Email marketing is great and everything, but say you go to a trade show and you get a list of 100 people and you send them all emails. And that's good, and you might be able to track if they clicked on it and everything, but what after that? So, did they go to your website? Did they look at a pricing page? Did they fill out a form? So ActOn allows you to track both or marketing automation allows you to track both known and unknown visitors. And so one of the things that ActOn does is once you fill out a form, once someone fills out a form on your website, then that installs a cookie on their machine so that anytime they come back to the website, they visit a specific page or they have some sort of activity, specifically who it is, when they did it, and then you have the ability, once they've had accumulated a decent amount of activity, to push that prospect to the CRM for salespeople to reach out to. So it allows you to consolidate all of your marketing efforts, and then once you get some sort of form submission or they click on an email, if they click on an email, anytime they come back to your website, you'll have trackable information and you'll have a timeline which can be generated with inside of the CRM, which we'll show as well. So the value that marketing automation can offer, basically, and of course it's going to produce more leads. More importantly, I think it gives you a lot of insight into what's working and what isn't. In terms of greater conversion rates, so you have the ability to track the success of conversions in terms of how many people that come to your website that turn into forms. And then you have all the other sorts of capabilities as well. And then in addition to that, if you have the CRM integrated with marketing, then it'll bring insights to the sales team that they never had before. So the lead conversions should go up. The insight into what people are looking at is now visible to the salespeople, so they should have more intimate knowledge and have the ability, to close deals quicker. And then once that transitions to the CRM, all of that data then comes back to marketing automation for you to report on sort of the revenue attribution as well. In addition to that, once you have better understanding of sort of what's working and what's not, you can tailor your messaging to your clients to help, retain their business and upsell the business as well. So why integrate marketing automation plus CRM? So, a couple things. So the marketing automation platform allows you to nurture leads until they are sales ready. Once they are sales ready, and we'll show you some screenshots in the demo, you have a lot more insight into the CRM that you wouldn't without. So you'd be able to see specifically inside the CRM, which web pages they visited. So if they visited a pricing page or something to that effect, you'd be able to track that as well. And then once the lead then goes into the CRM and converts to an opportunity, that opportunity value then comes back to the marketing automation platform, so you can see the success of specific landing pages or web forms or things like that as well. In addition, with the social publishing, it allows you to sort of track all of that and generate more leads and know specifically who clicked on certain campaigns, where they came from, and sort of what insights they give you to that as well. And then there's list segmentation. So without integrating with CRM, you're basically only allowed to segment lists based on the activity that they've done on your website. What the CRM could add to it, so for example, if you're integrating an ERP with the CRM, you then have sales data, specifically maybe product sales data in the CRM. You could use that data to then segment your list. So say they bought product XYZ, and it's typically bundled with another product that they haven't purchased. You can segment that data and then create a list based on the specific product that they purchased, and then get them on an upsell campaign as well. That's just some of the value of having the two together. I'm just going to go through a couple quick screenshots just to give you an idea. So the ActOn and marketing automation in general allows you to set up automated programs. And so for things like if someone clicks on an email or clicks on a pricing page, you can have it automatically create a lead in the CRM. So it's basically, they're pretty hot right there at that time. You can go create a lead and add a task to the CRM directly through the marketing automation interface as well. This just gives you basically a snapshot of what some of the things you would see inside of the CRM. So you'd be able to see your hot prospects with a lead score. We'll go into the lead scoring in a second. Then you'd be able to see the timeline, and you'd be able to actually launch email campaigns directly from ActOn or directly from Sugar as well. Once the leads are in the CRM and they convert to opportunities, all of that opportunity data will then come back into ActOn, and all of that lead data in terms of where their sources are from will come back into the CRM as well. In addition, it allows you to segment lists and have sub-segments. So for example, if you wanted to have, and it pulls in data from the CRM, so this goes into sort of why to integrate. So for example, ActOn itself is not going to track the annual revenue, of your clients, but you may well be tracking that into CRM. So maybe if you are working in a particular segment, and in that segment you wanted to reach all companies with over $10 million in revenue, then you can leverage the data from the CRM to pull in those segments. And then the social campaign, so it allows you to track the success of it, specifically where they came from, which pages they visited, and all that stuff as well. So you have the ability to social publish, and without marketing automation, you really have no way to truly measure the success of your campaigns. There's also a product in Sugar called Hint. And what that does is it allows you, so say you have a first name and last name and email address of a particular lead that comes from the marketing automation. Once it comes into the CRM, Hint scours the internet and it pulls in information based on their Twitter, their Facebook, their business information, the address and stuff like that for you to import into the CRM with one click. Now we're going to go ahead and jump into the demo. So this is the ActOn interface. So this is where you would log in, put in your username and password, and this would be the interface that you would visit. As you can see here, this allows you to consolidate all of your marketing activities, and we're going to go through a few of those now. In terms of the dashboard, this is similar to CRM, where it's configurable based on what your needs are, and you can add specific dashlets as you see fit. So one of the powerful things and one of the ways to generate leads through the CRM is by the website Prospector, as well as setting up specific alerts around website specific sites or specific URLs that they visited. So there's two types of visitors in marketing automation space. There's what's called anonymous prospect, and then there's what's called known prospects. And as we talked before, known prospects are those that have either filled out a form or have clicked on an email. So as you can see here, Cisco Systems, this is an unknown prospect, but it's somewhat known because they're tracking the IP that this person came from. So for example, if you're a salesperson or the marketing person and that you are looking to get into maybe a marketing executive from Cisco, and if they're on their website, then you can go on LinkedIn or what have you, Sales Navigator, and find those particular contacts to reach out to them and see what they're interested in. Known prospect here is you can then pull up what's called their timeline, and you can see this inside of the CRM as well. But basically, it'll pull in everything that they've done. So all the different website page views, all the different site visits, what they searched to get there, if they've attended webinars, media downloads, that sort of thing as well. And then you have a complete timeline of everything that they've done as well. So if they've exited a program, or if they've attempted a webinar, all of that information will be visible in the CRM for salespeople to act on and follow up with those particular prospects as well. So you have a rolling history of everything that's kind of happened, not only with emails, but things like webinars, and if they've filled out web forms and things like that as well. So it's pretty powerful stuff, and all of that information comes directly into the CRM. In addition to the actual website Prospector, you can also set up specific alerts for specific pages, and this is something that we do here at FabiusG. So we have different plugins and things like that for Sugar and product pages and pricing pages, and we set up alerts so that anytime someone visits those pages, we get an alert and we can reach out to them specifically on whatever topic that they reached out to. This is something that you generally would not have without sort of a marketing automation platform, And there's been times where we get those alerts and we reach out to them, and you know, the quicker you reach out, the more likely you are to retain some business. And so that's one way that you can start to generate leads and act on them, you know, quicker than you would be without. And you know, without the marketing automation, you would basically just wait until they filled out a web form or, you know, something to that nature before you can actually reach out to them. Within these alerts, if it's a known visitor, it'll tell you specifically who visited the page. If it's an anonymous, it typically gives you the company and where they came from and where they're located. This is the list segmentation within ActOn, and we kind of showed you a screenshot of that. But basically, within ActOn, you can have lists, and then you can also have sort of sub-segments. You can have sub-lists as well. So if we wanted to create a segment here based on, you know, a specific prospect list, you can go ahead and create one. So what this allows you to do is basically create some sort of criteria for if they meet something, then it's going to put them in a separate list that then allows you to you know, market to them differently than you would have other people. So you could do things based on their profile, based on, you know, their behavior. So if they open message in the last X amount of days, or if they clicked on it, or if they viewed on a form or submitted a form, then you can start to segment those lists separately, and that allows you to start marketing to them a little bit differently than maybe the other contacts that are on this list. Maybe if you wanted to, based on their lead score, or, you know, whatever it is, you can basically segment based on data in the CRM or based on data in ActOn or the marketing automation platform. So in here, you could say anytime a lead score gets over 25, we're going to create a new segment, call it 25 plus score prospect segment. That allows you to basically separate those from all the other lists and all the other leads, and allows you to have different messaging for those. We should go into lead scoring. The lead scoring basically allows you to set up criteria for the particular lead. So if they view a web page, if they view, you know, if they open a message, if they view a form, something to that effect, then it'll allow you to have scores for those particular prospects. And these scores can either go up or they can go down as well. So if they haven't done anything in a while, that could also deprecate the score and have it go down quite a bit. And all these scores, everything that you're scoring on within the application, you'll be able to see within the CRM, and you could determine, you know, once they reach a certain score, that they're, you know, quote unquote sales ready. And then it goes to the CRM, and then, you know, it can go to the sales rep, and they have the ability to reach out to that individual, look at the timeline, and, you know, they'll have more insights in terms of what that prospect is interested in. The other advantage of the integration is it allows you to set up, so this is what ActOn calls an automated program. So it allows you to set up basically, you know, a path, an email of emails and things based on conditions or things that they do or don't do. As you see over here on the right side, there's a bunch of different things. This is all drag and drop. So for example, if a condition is met, in this case, maybe, you know, they clicked on a message or they opened a message, something to that effect, what you can do is you can have it create a record in the CRM. So say if someone clicked on a particular pricing page or something like that, you can have it automatically create a lead record in the CRM as well. In addition, you can also say, let's create a related record. So this actually allows you to say, create a task. If you want a salesperson, the assigned to person to follow up with that particular prospect, then you can have it create a task, have it assign it to that prospect or assign it to the salesperson, put it on their dashboard, and then they'll have the ability to close out that task. And if the lead then converts to an opportunity, then you'd see all that information directly in ActOn as well. Like I said, it's all sort of drag and drop, so this doesn't require any real technical expertise, other than knowing how you want to set up your segments and your automated programs as well. Now we'll go ahead and show you a little bit information inside of Sugar. So, similarly to being able to show the lead and opportunity reporting data inside of ActOn, you can also have visibility to that data inside of the CRM as well. So as we were talking about lead scoring, as you can see here, one of my favorite features of the integration is the hot prospects dashlet that gets added onto the dashboard. And so there's a couple of things to note about this. It's not necessarily only for leads. So we have, from time to time, I'll send out emails to my clients with particular pages from our website. It also tracks those as well. So in addition to generating leads, what I would say is that the value of also having the two integrated is for potential upsells as well. So if you have a business model where you have clients that you would like to do ongoing business with, having those insights into who's going to your website or who's attending webinars, based on the emails that are going out and all the other activities is pretty relevant as well. So a lot of the times when I'm in CRM in the morning and I look at, and these hot prospects, they can be filtered based on, a day, a week, a month, or what have you. Obviously, the more relevant ones are going to be, in a shorter time span. So we typically do it in a week. But a lot of the times when I go and log in the morning, over half of the hot prospects they're not actual prospects, they're clients. This is just the name of the dashlet that ActOn provides. So just wanted to differentiate that. It's not just for generating leads, it's for, potential upsells as well. Once you go into a particular lead, you then have all of that sort of information. So you have the summary information where you have the emails that are being sent, the web pages that they're visiting, the different landing pages that they've visited, documents that they've downloaded, web forms that they've visited or filled as well, and then the webinars they've attended, as well as the search that they came from. So if I'm looking at this particular prospect and William Taylor, this is a lead, I can tell that he's interested in great marketing content. So when I call William, I know exactly what he's interested in, and I know how to sort of pique his interest and sort of massage the conversation to reflect that and to have a more sort of pointed and value added conversation, as opposed to the sort of old sales approach of being consultative and asking a prospect 100 questions to try and finding out what they're really interested in. In addition to that, you'd have the ActOn timeline as well, so you can see specifically what they did and when they did it. So if we were in May of 2015, then maybe this is interesting. But if we're in current times, then obviously he hasn't done anything in a couple of years, and it's probably not that interested, especially if we've been emailing him over the last 2 years. Maybe he's left his company or what have you. But you have more insight into all of that information. And then in addition, if you wanted to have your salespeople the ability to send out trackable emails, you could do that directly through the plugin as well. So that's basically the integration. The last thing that I'd really want to show, and then we'll also go back to ActOn to show you some revenue attribution as well. But the last thing I'd really want to show is sort of the value add of having the CRM integrated for clients. So for example, if we're selling red vines, say if we're selling to the Lakers here, as you can see here, you see product sales history. So you have all of this great information that's coming from the accounting system that you would never have in the marketing automation platform. So if you saw that they bought, red vines or, whatever it is, then you can then create lists for upsells and all the other different products that you bought as well. So that really, ties the loop and really, adds the value of being able to help both the marketer, market smarter, and then it's going to help the salespeople because they're getting messaging about things uniquely that they wouldn't have otherwise without an integration. Lastly, let me just take a step back for a second. So once, say, William Taylor was in here, once you convert that lead to an opportunity, as you can see here, there's dollar amounts associated here. Once that lead gets converted to an opportunity and you go back to ActOn, you'll have then the ability to see the success of all of those particular pages or those particular campaigns. So anyone that filled out, a form on a pricing page that then turned into an opportunity, you would then be able to see the success of all of that. So you'd be able to specifically tie and attribute revenue to particular pages based on the deals or the opportunities that were converted from leads in the CRM. So this is very value add here, and it gives you so much insight in terms of which pages turn into the most, the most business. So for example, if you go to the bottom here and you have a survey that didn't really generate much, then maybe you need to have different types of surveys, or maybe the survey methodology just isn't working so well. So this just gives you, much greater information in terms of what's happening in the CRM once they leave, the marketing automation, and once they've been, communicating with an actual salesperson. That's all I had for the demo. I guess we could do Q&A if there's anything. Jesse?
Yeah, we had a question. Jake. So the question is, they're saying that they're currently using their CRM for their email marketing programs, and they're interested to know, what's the benefit of doing the email marketing through the marketing automation platform versus just using what's there in the CRM for campaigns.
Right. So the CRM, doing the email marketing out of CRM is good because you get to see the clicks and stuff like that. But if you're trying to drive traffic to your website, and if you're trying to drive actionable traffic to the website, then you really kind of lose anything after that. So once they click on an email, you see that they clicked on something or that they opened something, but anything after that, you don't really have any sort of insight into. So did they attend a webinar? Did they fill out a particular web form? What else are they doing in terms of their behavior on your website? And so, for any company that's sort of investing into their digital marketing efforts, and if you're using, pay-per-click, or if you have Google AdWords, something to that effect, you're really sort of selling yourself short without a marketing automation platform. Whereas if you're not, maybe you have a referral type business, and you're not spending a ton of money on the website, and there's not much content, there's not a lot of calls to action, then maybe doing it out of your CRM, is okay. But part of the thing about a lot of people's purchasing behaviors is it's changed a lot in the last 10 or so years. So a lot of the times people aren't even reaching out to companies until they've been over your website all over the place, because they're doing their own research, and then until they're finally ready, then they'll come back and reach out to you to connect. So all of those different touches, it's pretty important to kind of see those in the CRM now, because now more than ever, people are spending more time on websites doing their own research than ever before.
All right, great. Thanks, Jake. That was the only question actually that was submitted at this time. Just giving everyone a heads up, in the chat box, I put in a bunch of resources that are are valuable to check out some URLs on our site. There's a website for there's a link for a free trial of ActOn if you're interested in taking this a little bit further. There is a link to some of our marketing automation resources with some videos about how to use the marketing automation platform in conjunction with CRM. There's also a link for a free SEO checkup. So if you're interested in seeing one of the cool tools of ActOn, how it enables you to look at web pages on your website and make sure that they're properly laid out and has the right keywords. There's a link to have us do that for you, and that's a tool that comes out of the box with ActOn, as well as a link to our marketing automation services as well, including our digital marketing services. So that's all we got for today. Thanks for joining us. Thank you, Jake, for presenting, and be sure to check out our next marketing automation webinar coming up in a few weeks. I'll be sure you get an invite for that. Everyone, have a great day.
Thanks, everyone.